Everyone, my name is Mboma Chioma Mary, but everyone calls me Oma, and I'm happy to be here.
That's great. We also have Israel Ulelu here on the call. They like to say hi.
Hi guys, good day everyone. I'm Lilu Israel, a Microsoft student partner, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. And I'm really hoping to learn a lot.
That's great. So, Israel later on this call will be telling you how to become a Microsoft Student Partner for those interested. Also, we have Jaflet Wamo on the call. Would you like to say hi? Hi, Jaflet. Hello. Okay, I guess Jaflet is having network issues. So, please, I think it's really important that you mute your mic as we are about to begin this session. It's really important we have a smooth run during this session. So please, if you are not muted, kindly mute your mic. So at this point, I think we won't waste much of our time. I would like to invite our speaker for today. I'll be saying a little bit about our speaker. So we have Bruno Capuano. He's the lead innovation at Avani Canada and has been a Microsoft MVP. MVP is most valuable professional for the past 12 years. Wow, that's pretty amazing. He's an active Microsoft Technologies community participant. I'm pretty sure that's why he decided to come join us today. He loves Microsoft communities and would like to contribute. He's a writer and a frequent speaker at local and international technology conferences. As you guys can see, Global AI Bootcamp on his slide. He also likes to act new technologies. He plays guitar and runs. Yeah, runs a lot. That's pretty cool. Which already started after becoming the dad of two best sons ever. Wow, I would really love to see your children. Uh, I will be glad. I will be surprised if I see them doing stuff with drones also and AI. Maybe you say a little about that when you come on board. So yeah, that's Bruno Capuano, and I'd like to introduce him. The session is titled "Let's Code a Drone to Follow Faces," using AI, Python, containers, and more. And as a bonus, we'll take some enterprise scenarios. So I won't take much of our time. Bruno, you can take the floor. Thanks for joining us. We'd like to have you come on board.
Perfect. So thank you very much, and thank you for the intro. I hope that you can see me well. I hope that the stream is also fine. This is going to be tricky for a couple of. You're going to see later that using a camera, using the drone's camera, sometimes it's hard to get the idea. So I really hope that you can enjoy this. And as you said, my name is Bruno Capuano. I've been doing this type of things for a long time. I love to share these ideas. And also today's session is all about how we can use a drone to follow faces and to basically do stuff with the drone camera. And I am going to start by basically apologizing for using crappy animations, crappy demos. This is not ready for production. This is just to showcase what we can do with technology. So feel free to use all of these codes, but do not quote me with everything that I am doing right now. And I am going to do most of my demos in Python, and I'm going to tell you later why. But if you already know a little about Python, it's very easy language to understand. Also around the cognitive services, a couple of services to do image recognition. I am going to explain a little about how you can detect faces. So I am going to cover all of these topics. If you know them, that will be a plus, but feel free at any moment to ask questions, to do anything, because I will be happy to try to tailor this for your knowledge. So let me start with, this is myself, you probably seen the picture of me, this is the picture that I have, and this is the meme who describes what you are going to see today. I'm not very good in my code. I may be good with advice, but not with the code, so do not follow the thing that we are going to do. But going back to today, what I am going to do today. So today I'm going to use this drone. It's called the DJI Tilo. DJI, it's kind of a nice drone because it gives us the chance to play around. Also, it has a couple of cool features, and it's not very expensive. When I'm sorry, there is someone there who is not mute. If someone wants to mute yourself, just in case. So the idea here is that this drone is good enough to play around, to show.
I think I've muted him already, so you can move on.
Perfect, thank you very much. So the idea is that this drone is, as I said, it's not very expensive, because if you start to do this kind of thing with professional drones, these drones are in the $1,000. This is
like the difference between like that and normal event is that for a normal meeting, people can join and will be.
I'm sorry? Okay, so this drone is basically, as I said, is not very, very expensive as professional drone. This is mostly a toy, but this has a very cool set of features. Like you can fly the drone for 10 minutes. They have a couple of cool antennas, so you can see this in, you can basically connect this via Wi-Fi. It has a very nice and stable software, so it allows it to fly. So you have a couple of very cool things. And when I was looking at the drone and starting to see what we have, I realized that it was very nice because in the page of the DJI drone, they talk about that you can do programming the drone. You can do your own thing on top of the drone. You can program the drone. So I started to play around, starting to look if we can find this. I couldn't find any official SDK. They have an SDK for Scratch. Scratch is usually a tool that's used for kids, so they know how to start programming. It's a block-based interface. But what I really like is that somewhere there inside the DJI page, there was a document, there was a PDF, and I am going to share all of the links, all of the demos, the slides, everything later. But everything that we have here is basically available in this PDF that explains how you can interact with the drone. So the idea is that if you know how to connect with your drone, you can open a couple of UDP ports and start to interact, sending messages to the drone and reading information for the drone. So that was amazing. I started to see what we can do, but this is UDP. So UDP is a protocol for communication. You probably know TCP. TCP is kind of the most standard one. I think everybody in the world is using TCP right now. UDP is kind of different because you don't have the, when you send the message, you don't know if the message is already there or not. So there are a lot of things to double check with UDP, but it works. And I'm going to show you right now how it works. So again, going back, I know that I can connect via Wi-Fi to my drone. I know that I can open a couple of ports, and I know that I can send information to the drones. I can send commands. So my next step will say, okay, how am I going to do this? How we can do this? So in example, in order to do this right now here, what I have my PC, I have a standard PC connected via an Ethernet cable to the internet, so I can stream and talk to you. And then I also have here the chance to connect with my drone. So I am going to be able to connect to the drone via Wi-Fi. When I start the drone, I am going to be able to see the Wi-Fi for the drone and connect me there. So let's show you a quick demo how we are going to do this. So be ready to see a lot of different windows and pings and command lines plus Python. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to stop my camera here in Teams, just to avoid having double everything. And I'm going to start my camera here in Windows so you can have a better look here. Let me ping this one here. So that's my camera. So when I turn on the drone, I just press a button, you are probably going to see there that I have a LED. It's lighting. So what I can do right now, I can go to my network here and I'm going to see here somewhere that the drone is available to connect. So there it is, 0589327. So I can connect here. But what I am going to do, instead of connecting to the drone there, using that way, I am going to use a couple of commands, which is going to make me much more easy to connect. So I am going to use PowerShell, and I am going to send an // to connect. And the other thing that I'm going to do, I am going to ping my drone. I have here a ping connection, so I will know if the drone is connected. So I can see here that I am connected to the drone. So what you can see here, I said...
Hi, Bruno. Can you zoom in to the terminals so that people can see clearly?
Yeah, sure.
Also, one little request. Can you go a bit slowly?
Oh, yeah, sure.
People are having issues catching up. Yeah, thank you.
So as I said here, let me start again. What I did, let's put this one here. Oh. Let me put this one here. So what I did, I turn on the drone. And when I turn on the drone is going to start to broadcast as a Wi-Fi spot. And then when the drone is broadcasting, I will be able to connect to the drone. So the drone is right now turned on. I will see this as a network here, so I can connect via my Wi-Fi. But instead of connecting via Wi-Fi, I am going to use PowerShell to connect. So when I'm connected, you can see here in the bottom, in the ping, that I am connected to the drone. If I go here to my network, I will see that I am connected to the drone, but of course the drone has not internet. But this is the easy way to connect, and I always like to have this bottom left corner window to see if I am connected. So the next step that I need to do, remember when I was here that I told you that, okay, once you are connected and you know your IP of your drone, you are going to be able to start to send message to the drone, to start to receive information. So I know based on this PDF what I can do with the drone. So my next step will be, okay, let's try to write some code to start to send information to the drone and start to read information from the drone. Let me show you how we can do this. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use Python. I am going to create a new file in Python. Let's put this demo.py. And what I am going to start to do here, I'm going to start to basically send information to the drone. So let me start with a couple of imports. Let me zoom this so we can see the code. A couple of imports here so we can see I am going to use sockets to send information. I am going to use threading to send information in different threads. So I have here almost everything. Then I'm going to write a couple of functions to receive the data from the drone. And I am going to define and create a socket later, but right now I'm going to receive from this socket, and then I am going to read the states also from this socket, from another socket. I have three main sockets open, three main ports open in the drone. One is to send information, the other is to receive information, and the third one is for the camera feeds. So once I have this, my next step will be, let's create a couple of commands to send information. So basically what I am going to do here, I am going to open another socket to send the command, and I have here a couple of lines to say, okay, let me give you my timestamp and wait 5 seconds to see if I have a timeout or not. And then I have a read command and a control command. So it's very kind of standard. And my next step will be, okay, let's open the connection. So this is the important part. I am already connected to my drone. I have the drone up and running here. It's connected to this port, I'm sorry, to this IP. And then here I have the one port is going to be open on port 8899, and the other is going to be in 8890. And I'm going to open 2 ports here that I am going to be able to connect and use. So basically this is the connection part. And the next one is going to be, okay, let's start to listen to the drone. So once I have my sockets, I am going to use 2 different threads to listen to the socket, to the drone, and to listen to see what I am sending information and I am receiving information. Remember that the drone is not going to say anything for me. I am going to only have, when I send the drone information, I am going to only have a string when they send the command saying OK or error, but I don't know if it's going to work or not. But with the last lines, what I am going to do, I can be able to basically read the command, send the control command, which is going to say start the SDK mode, and then let's get the battery value for the drone. So I'm going to read the battery. How much battery do I have in the drone? And that's it. I use 100 lines, a little more, to get the drone, to connect to the drone and to get information. So let's test it. Let me go back to my console. Where is my console? Somewhere here. Oh, like this one. Then I'm back to my console. I am going to open a new console. I have it here, and let's use some Python for this. So what I am going to do now, I am going to switch from my disk. I am going to navigate to my demo folder. This is where I am right now, and I am going to run the Python file. Before doing this, and just to have everything here, remember, I have my drone somewhere here. I should get the ping window so the drone is working. And when I run this demo, I am running the Python demo. Of course, it's going to open new port, so allowing me access. It's going to connect to the drone, and you can see here that it gives me the battery of the drone at 90%. So this is the moment when we are live and we are doing this demo live. Instead of gating the battery of the drone, what I am going to do, I am going to make the drone fly a little, but I am going to wait until the end to make the drone fly, because I don't want to break the drone and basically do not have any device to make the demo again. But what I can show you is, if I am going here, and when I am receiving information, I get a set of data, which is basically a stream of data with a lot of values. I will print these values. Let me print the list, and let me go here and wait 30 seconds. So if I do this, when I have the drone up and running, you are going to see, oh, I just get disconnected, so I need to connect the drone again. It's turned off, so let's wait a couple of seconds until the drones time out, and in the meantime, I will connect it. I will connect this. As I said, sometimes you need to connect and connect again. So I am connecting. My bottom left windows will display when I am connected. I am connected again. So I go here, I run my demo, and you can see here that they have a lot of values here, and really a lot of values. And the cool thing about this, if I start to move the drone around, you are probably going to see how these values are changing. And as soon as we finish, let's go into review what are the values that they have here. Because I have the battery, but I also have the temperature of the drone, the time of flight, I have the accelerometer. So this is in real time getting information from the drone, and this is the cool part, that we can make the drone fly, but we can also understand at any moment how is the drone working, what is the drone doing. So if I maximize this, let me put this at full screen, start to see the values. I have the pitch here, which is one of the orientation at 23, the roll at the yaw. This is the 3 axes to see where is the drone. Then I have the vertical acceleration for the 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. Then I also have the temperature. Then I also have the time of flight and the battery. And the way that I am working with this, the way that I am doing this, is basically receiving a list. There it is. I have receive a list. I replace the comma with another character, and then I split this. And I know that the battery is in the item 21. So let's review what I did. So we have a better overview of how we are going, because this is the base code for all of the demos. I create a couple of data functions. One is going to receive data. One is going to receive data from one of the sockets where we send information, and then when we send commands, I say fly, It's going to say OK, or it's going to say error. And the other is going to receive information about the drone values. It's going to give me information about the battery. It's going to give me information about the height, the time of flight, and all of the info. Then I create a couple of command functions, send information. Basically, I can send the command saying fly, and I am going to use this socket to send the fly. And then I can read the commands. I also have a couple of functions to read commands. Then I define the connection to the drone. I know that my drone is in this IP, and I know that for right now I'm going to use 2 ports to read the commands, to read the values. So there they are. So I'm going to open 2 sockets to make the connection for these 2 ports. When we get to the camera, I will show you how the camera works. I don't want to have these sockets listening all the time in my application because it's going to freeze my application. So I open these sockets in a different thread. So I can read and send information all the time in different threads, in memory. And then my 10 lines of code is, I start with this command. This command is created so you can, when you send the command, the drone knows that it's starting to work with an SDK, and the next one is give me the battery. And remember, all of this is defined in this PDF that is available in the web. And where is the PDF? Here is the PDF, and it has all of the information that we need around command. This is the command that you can send, that take off, land, stream on, stream off, up, down, left, right, everything that you can do. And this is the lines of code that you can start to do. So I have basically the first 90 lines to set up the connection, and then everything that I'm doing from here is based on what we can do and how we can move the drone. So going back here to my demo, we can see how we can connect. We can see how we can do the hello world here, which is basically get the battery. But the cool thing here is, okay, but the drone also have a port for the camera. And this is the part that I really like to do, because we can see the camera. We can connect to the camera drone and start to see how it works. And the camera is open in the port 11,111. And I started to play around when I know about this, what we can do. So I tried first to connect with VLC. It didn't work. Then VLC basically worked with almost everything, but it didn't work here. Then I find another tool, which is FFmpeg, which also was able to connect, but it was a lot of delay. So it didn't really work. And then I realized that, hey, I know OpenCV. OpenCV is an amazing library to work with images and also give me the chance to connect to a drone and show the information and connect to the camera. So let me show you how we can connect to the camera. So let's create a new file here. Let's name this camera.python. So I have my Python camera here and my Python empty line here. And what I'm going to do first is, as I said, I'm going to use the same lines of code that I used before. I have my sockets, I have my time, I have trading, this is the important part because I am going to also use OpenCV here, but all of this, the code here is the same as I write. Send commands, read commands, connection info, tweet for read and send information. That's basically the same code that we have before. The main difference here is that I need to connect to the camera. So once I send the command to start interaction with the SDK, I need to send another command, which is stream on, so the drone starts to stream with the camera. And this is very important. If you connect to the drone and you didn't send this command, the camera is not going to stream anything. And someone asking about, that I'm going to share the code, the slides, everything after the session, so you can access and play around if you want with this. So once I have connected my drone with my camera, let's see, and this is the magic here. Let's see how we can connect this. So I already sent the command to the drone to say, hey drone, start SDK mode. Hey drone, start your camera. And then I am going to create a URI, which is going to be this one. And I'm going to say OpenCV, open the video capture. and this is going to open a thread, which is going to be getting the frames from the camera from the drone. And that's basically it. I will give 2 seconds so the drone can start everything. You are going to see how this starts, and then I can start to display the camera from the drone. So I will use again the battery because I want to have a continuous connection with the drone. So I will need again to use the battery, and I will create a while true loop. Remember, crappy demos, there are better ways to do this. And what I am going to do here, I am going to say, hey, OpenCV, read the camera feed and give me a frame. I am going to resize the frame to this size, 644 and 480. I think it's fine. And I'm going to show this in a window. And then in this loop, if I press the Q key, I will stop this. And this is basically it. The only thing that I need to do here at the end is clean up a little, clean up a little, which is basically said, okay, drone, stream off, do not stream anymore, and start to work. So that's my code. So let's review this before we are going to do. It's the same code that we did before, but once we start, we also send an extra command to the drone. So the drone is starting to stream the camera. I will connect to the camera using OpenCV, and then in a while true, I will get me a frame from the camera, and I will display the frame. Get me a frame, and I will display the frame. Very easy. Let's see how this works. So I'm back here. As you can see here in the bottom, I am disconnected. So let me put this one here and put this one here. So I am disconnected. So I need to go back and connect my drone. Remember, I turn the drone on. After a couple of seconds, the Wi-Fi in the drone is fine. So it's there. I need to go back here and connect to the drone. And when the ping windows in the bottom left give back my information, I'm going to see that I am connected. So should be back any moment. Not yet. There it is. So what I am going to do right now, I am going to run. Let me clean this where it is, and I'm going to run the file that we just created. And what this is going to do, this is going to, as you can see there, it's opening the video feed. It's trying to get there, and you can see here, I hope that the refresh rate is good, how I am moving my drone with my hand, and it's moving the camera. So I am showing in real time the camera. If I point it up, you can see a couple of posters. I have a Captain American shield. I have a couple of figurines here. I am moving this around, and you see how it's moving. I turn this. I can point it to myself. Hello, there it is. So you have here the drone, and the drone is broadcasting. And I have 80% of battery, which is great here, and I am using my loop. But let's review what I just did. With a couple of extra lines of codes, I connected to the camera, and then I'm displaying the camera, and that's it. And that's the amazing part. I can, at any moment, display the camera, connect to the camera, and display the camera. This is the greatest part of what we can do with this, because now that I have the camera frame, I can start to do magic here. I can start to do, in example, things like, let me go back to my screen. I can start to work and start to do something like face detection. And there are plenty of things that we can do once we have the image here. So I like face detection, but we can also do object detection. Can you hear me? It seems that somehow I am becoming an attendee here, so I don't know if I am presenting. Is it working?
Hi, Bruno. Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. I am back to presenting. Perfect. Let me know if
I can see your screen now.
Perfect. So as I said, here we have a couple of demos that we can detect objects, we can detect faces, we can detect emotions, we can do a lot of things And I write this a lot about what we can do. So we can even go further and detect lines in our faces for the eyebrows, for our mouth, our nose. There are plenty of things that we can do here. But let's start with the basic one. Let's start with face detection. So face detection has been up and running for a very, very, very long time. You can, if we go here and see my camera, you see here that I have a frame there. There is a black frame here following my face. This is because in the last 10 years, a lot of cameras already have the frame detection, the face detection capabilities. And one of the oldest ways to do this is a segmentation. It's a technique created in the early 2000s, the Viola-Jones technique, and it works great. It's basically we pick up an image, we convert this image to a grayscale image, and we apply a couple of layers of filtering to get these values, to try to find dark lines and white lines for our eyes and our nose, and this is going to be detected at the face. But the cool thing about this is that OpenCV can do this kind of out of the box. We have plenty of files that we can use here, so it's very, very easy to do face detection. And as I said, once we have this, once we have connected to the drone and showing the camera from the drone, everything else that we can do there will be kind of easy. So let me go back here, let me create a new file. Let's name face.py, and I will use a new set of code snippets. Now I have the face detection, I have everything that I need here from the previous demo. So I am opening the ports, I am sending data, getting data, I have 2 sockets, everything that I just did. The main difference here will be that once I have the frame, I'm going to start to analyze the frame to see if there is a face there. So let me go back here and show you what I am going to use. So in the OpenCV repository in GitHub, we have a lot of files here that they can be used to detect faces, detect smiles, detect eyes, detect bodies. We can use this. This is all available. This is all for free also, by the way. So the next thing that I'm going to do here, once I am connected to my drone and I am getting the information from the camera, I am going to ask OpenCV to open one of these files to basically detect front faces. So once I have this, I can start to use it. So let me go back here and let's see how we can do this. Remember, I said OpenCV, open this cascade file, and I named this a face cascade. And while I am looping between the get information from the camera from the drone and displaying this, what I am going to do is I am going to pick up the image from the drone. I am going to convert the image to a grayscale image, and then I'm going to say, hey, face cascade, let me know if you find any face here. So for any set of faces that I found, I am going to draw a rectangle here. I am going to basically show this in the in the window, and I am going to move forward with this. So let me show you how this works. Let me show this how this works. Let's go back here to my camera. Let's go back here to my, I am disconnected from the drone. I need to connect again. And let's go back here to my console. So what I need to do right now, I need to run my face API, but before this, I need to connect to my drone again. So I go back here, turn the drone in. It's going to blink my camera, and after a couple of seconds, I should be connected. So let's wait until the drone connects. There it is, I am connected. So what can I do right now? I can go here and run my face PI demo. So it's it's connected, yes. Oh, sorry. That's the demo. The main thing that I forgot to do something here, I said to the Cascade that use this file, but I do not have this file here. So I need to copy this. Where is this from the, here it is. I need to copy this in the folder that we have it. There it is, here we go. So I'm still connected. So it's going to open the camera. You can see there the camera of the drone. I can start to fly around. And when it shows my face, there it is, it should get the face detected there. And it kind of works nice. I can even go here and let me show you what I like to do here is when I did this one of the first time, I was part of the global AI community where I participate. So let me open a video with a lot of faces. I will put the video here. I will put the camera here.
Hey, my name is Masha Malik.
And if I go here and analyze the video, you can see there how in real time it's displaying faces. I hope that the frame rate is good enough. Basically, you can see the red faces detected there, and it works very, very great. It's work kind of good at any time. And if you are also asking how fast does this work, let me show you how we can measure this, because I forget to add this, but I can, let me close this. I can get here and I can go here, add a couple of extra lines. Let me remove this. And what I am going to do here is the same line that we see. I'm going to read my camera, but before displaying anything, I will basically add 3 lines to check how many frames I am using per second. So let's save this and run this again. So it's opening, it's connecting. There it is, and it's going very fast. So I don't know if you can see the lines here, but it's basically showing between 30 and 50 frames per second, which is kind of nice. It's very, very fast. If I put myself here again and I start to recognize faces, it will go back to 38, 39. So we are between 30 and 40 frames per second, which is kind of nice and fast. So whoops. I think it's stopped. Let me stop this one also here. It's not responding. I may lose something here. So, okay, let me close the program and move forward with the slides. So we've seen how we can do face detection. We see how we can do this. But how about if we want to build our own image? If I want to detect something else, if I want to detect something specific. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to use some machine learning tools in order to do this. And the way that you use this is we start with a set of data. We're going to train a model. And once we train this model, we are going to use the model to get data. And the cool thing about this is that we have a tool, which is a very easy tool to use, called Custom Vision, that allows us to do this in a very fast way. Let me show you how. I am going to stop this camera and I am going to start my camera here so you can see my face. And what I am going to do here, and I don't know if you've already seen Custom Vision or not, but let me create a 5-second demo. So you need to go to customvision.ai. This is part of Azure. So if you already have an Azure account, it will be good because you are going to start from there. You can try this for free and you can do amazing things for free here. But let's start with something simple. Let's start with the draw detector. And there are a couple of things that I can do here. I can create a project to detect objects or general landscape. I will go for classification, the general one. And I am going to say that this is going to be in a compact mode. So I can have everything here. Once I have this created, I need to, remember, we need to pick up our images, train the model with our images, and then use the model. So, whoops, there it is, draw detector. Somehow I get disconnected. So once I am in my project, I'm going to start adding images. And the way that I'm going to do this, I have this already created. I have very simple drawings. This is handmade drawings for fish. So I am going to upload 8 images for fish, and I am going to add a tag. This tag is going to be fish. So I already upload 8 images to my system to recognize drawings of fish. Let's do the same with other categories. So I have fish here. I have flower here. And as you can see, I am not very good at drawing. I used this for a couple of years ago demo, so it's fine. And then I have here little humans. So let's put with human. So I uploaded all my files. I have these 3 tags. And what I can do right now, I can train my system. And this is going to basically pick up all of the images that I have. It's going to train my system, and I am going to have the chance to use the system to recognize new models. And once the training, and this is very fast, this is black and white drawings, so this is good for demos. If you have, you can use up to 5,000, 10,000 images, depending if you move from free to another. But once the system is trained, what I am going to be able to see is, hey, I can now see how this system is trained, and it's going to allow me to recognize images. So while it's working, while it's training, I am going to open Paint as one of the apps, and I am going to draw, let me pick a bigger, I am going to draw some kind of fish. So I am going to put this in my desktop. Let me go to my desktop. Let's put this fishy as a fish there. And while the system is trained, it's still training, so let's wait for it. Oh, it's taking so long to train today. But once the system is trained, I will have the chance to basically use my images, use the images that I have here to test the system. So it's going to be able to recognize. Let's train again. Okay, let's wait for it. It should be faster. Let's give it a couple of seconds and I will breathe. In the meantime, while it's training, I will create a new image here. I will draw a flower. And I will save this as flower. Okay, it's not finishing. That's weird. Let me go back here, open Custom AI. Let's go to the draw detector. Let's go to my performance. Okay, somehow we get stuck there. I will give this a couple of moments, but I want to show you another one that I have already up and running, which is the one that I use to detect MVP's award. You can see here in the back of my office that, as you mentioned at the beginning, I've been an MVP for over 12 years. I have all of these MVP friends here in the back. It's kind of nice to have. So I create a project and I trained the project to recognize these MVPs. So I went here and select a new part and I add a tag. So I recognize this each one by one, not with the previous one. This is object recognition. So I use all of these images here, and you can see that I have a different background. I painted my wall a couple of weeks ago, and I have images with plenty of MVPs in vertical sides, plenty on horizontal, and then a single one. And what I did here is I trained these systems. Once the system is trained, and I can start to use this system in a couple of ways. I can publish this, so I have a URL, and I can put an image there, and it's going to recognize and give me my values. So in example, something like this, I can upload a new image here, event, resources, MVP, where is this, drone, custom vision. I can upload a new image here like this one, and it's going to analyze the image, and it's going to say to me, okay, I recognize an MVP here, another here, and you can see that they have some values here. This is how sure the model is that this is an MVP, so 73% is fine, 85% is fine, so it helped me. Or I can even go here to my model and export this model to be used in a different set of platforms. So instead of posting these images via a URL to the internet, I can export this to an CoreML file or TensorFlow file to be used inside the mobile phone. I can even do this with Onyx, but I am going to do this with Docker. I export this as a Docker file. Docker is kind of a small container, so a small system operating system, with Linux, and I choose to run this in Linux. And what I am going to do, I'm going to run this in Docker locally. So if I go here to my command line and I go to my Docker image ls image, you see that I have a couple of images here, and one of my images is the MVP, the one that I download. And I already have also this image up and running here. So I have here in my port 8070, I have here my images working. I have here my image recognition working. So I can start to do something like, in example, going back to my drone. I can start to go here to my drone and I start to do something like this. So I can open my camera, connect to the drone, connect to the drone, open my camera, do everything. But once I have my image, the camera image from the drone, I can call this local container to analyze this image. And if I found something, I can display the prediction. So this is kind of a full demo, which is going to do the ABC. It's going to connect to the drone, it's going to enable the camera of the drone, and once it's connected and showing the camera, for each frame that I have from the camera, I am going to send this locally to my MVP detector that I created with Custom Vision, and I'm going to display the predictions. And what I did here is, instead of having the detection enabled all the time, I basically enable and disable the detection every time that I press the key V. So I will show the frame, the camera frame all the time, and then I will enable the detection. And I will also write to the disk a couple of files for each detected images. So let's see how this works. So I am going to go back here. I am going to clean this so you can take a look. Let me set up everything. As you can see, I am not connected to the drone, so I need to disconnect. And let me start my camera also so you can see the drone. There is my camera. So let me turn on the drone and connect to the drone. Remember, if I don't use the drone will turn off, so I need to connect and connect again. And once I am connected, I will show you how we can do this. It's not connected yet. One more time. There it is, it's connected. So I'm going to go back here and run my drone camera MVP complete. So once I run this flap, I need to do this in how I lost my Flask instance, so no problem, I will install Flask. And I will run my camera. It's running, there it is. Also, it's running very big, so you can see here the detection. So I will point this one there, so you can start to see there my MVPs. And I've pressed the letter key D. You are going to start to see some frame there. It's very big, so let's resize this to a better, and let's do 640. .480, let's go back here again, start the drone camera. There it is, it's bigger. And when it's there, you're going to see also in the command line, in the terminal, that when it starts to recognize objects, it's going to display the objects in the, over there. So everything that you see there in the bottom is the object recognizer that I have here. You can see also there the frame of a couple of them recognized. I am not displaying all of the objects. I am only displaying the ones which are which I recognize it. And I also did a couple of things, a couple of cool things here. So what I did is copy path. I am storing every file that the drone camera has recorded here in locally. So you can see here I have all the files that have been recorded there, even a couple of them. And I also store it here, the ones that has been detected. So I have here, you can see there one was detected, another detected, one in the bottom. So every time that I detected something is in the bottom, is that we can see. And with this, I can also see the JSON with the information that I have received for this. So I can do plenty of other things. You can go to my blog and see I did one to recognize faces, to recognize masks if you're using mask. But I want to do something using the drone to basically fly. And what I am going to do here is I am going to make the drone fly. So I'm going to make the drone take off. Once it's connected and on, it's going to make the drone take off. And I am asking the drone, I will ask the drone that enable the camera, and if the drone detects the face, it's going to start to flip around. So this is the moment where the drone is basically going to be destroyed because it will hit the floor, but let's see how this goes. So I will have this one here, and I will start my drone. So the drone is here, is going to start the camera. There it is, this is the drone. Let me put the drone in the floor, somewhere here. The camera is going to point it to me, and let's make the drone fly. So the drone is somewhere flying there. Whoa. And it recognized my face and tried to flip. I hit it myself, so let me put back here, make it fly again. This is the cool part where the drone starts to fly. It hits again when recognize my faces. So I hope that you can get an idea of what we can do. But when we make the drone flight is when we start the demo to be intense. Yes, I like the word. It's basically trying to hit you. And hey, it's a small toy. I already lose one of the propellers here, somewhere here, so I need to fix it. But I hope that's it. So we are getting to the close. I want to have at least 5 seconds for questions. So let me go back here and finish this. So we review how, even if we don't have an official SDK, we can create and write our own SDK. It's kind of easy and amazing. Let me enable the camera again here. Disable this one and enable this one. So it's kind of easy. It's kind of, we can do this. It's fun to create this. Then I show you how we can access also the drone camera. We can see how the camera gives us frames. So once we have the image, we can start to do amazing things. We can do face detection, object detection. You can take a look at my slides and see, and my blog and see how we have everything. And we can even create our own object detection systems so we can start to play around. So I am going to share the code and the slides and everything that I used today later in my blog, so you can see what we have here. And if you have any question, we still have a couple of minutes to do the questions. And if not, feel free to follow me at El Bruno on Twitter and ask me questions there. I will be happy to answer. And it was a pleasure. Anybody has a question? This is the moment to ask. Thank you very much, by the way.
Okay, great session, Bruno. I know a lot of people are still trying to get all this together and have a feel of everything you just said. I captured a couple of questions. I think first and foremost, I would like you to state the Azure services you used. I know you used Custom Vision. Are there other Azure services you used? Someone asked that question.
For this demo, I only use Custom Vision because I create a new model, and it's a shame that, but it's happened to me also last time. Sometimes when you train a model, it gets like this, it gets stuck, But it's great because if you train a model to detect images, it will be great to use it later as a Nonix file locally or as a web resource. So the only service that I'm using right now is Custom Vision.
Okay, great. So another question. Someone asked if we can use C++ instead of Python to control the drone.
Yes, we have all of the info all the time of the drone. So we know the acceleration, the inclination, the position. So we can even use TensorFlow to write this information and start to predict, I don't know, some kind of anomalies. Once we get information from the drone, we can do a lot of things. So it's up to us to see what we can do. And as you saw in the code here, it's not very complicated to get information from the drone. So everything there is possible.
Great. So someone was asking if you can explain the initial setup on the code you are using to control the drone.
Yeah, sure. So basically, this is Python, and I explained a couple of times that I am opening threads, doing everything. The most important things maybe here is that I write this. Let me zoom this a little. I write, oops, too much. I write this, if you go to my blog, elbruno.com, I write this series of posts where you can see how you can connect to the drone, how you can connect to the camera, everything that you need to do. And I even write a couple of posts about, let me go back into the bottom, build, podcast, not this one, not this one, not this one. Come on. Oh, there it is. I even write a couple of posts that say, okay, if you want to do this and you want to do everything, you probably need to install OpenCV and TensorFlow, and sometimes this is tricky to install in different environments. So I even write a couple of posts about how you can create your own environment with Anaconda and OpenCV to do these kind of things. So everything about how you can set up your environment, you can find it in my blog, in elbruno.com, and I will be there. Oh, sorry about that. It's too fast. There it is. elbruno.com, and I will be happy to share more details, or if you have any specific question, I will be happy to answer the question.
Great, that's great. Someone was asking about the drone you used. Did you buy it or did you build it from scratch?
No, this is the drone that I buy from Amazon. It's available there. This is a technical drone. This is a toy basically that you can use. I built a long time ago another one. This is one that I built it by myself. This is a crappy one, but today you can buy this drone, and this is the link. Again, it's part of the resources of the slide, so you can access this if you need it. You don't need to build your own drone. If you want, you're fine, but I prefer to buy a new, already built one.
Okay, good. So I know most drones today, they have their own controls. So for example, if you have a drone already and the drone has its own control, how do you connect to the camera of that drone?
That's a good question, and I have a couple of answers. So depending on the drone manufacturer and the app that you have to use to control the drone, if the drone is like this one, it's a drone that you can connect from your phone to the drone via Wi-Fi, you may want to use kind of a Wi-Fi sniper to see the package that your phone is sending to the drone and try to do some reverse engineering to try to get a sense of how the information is flowing between the two of us. For this one, we were lucky that Ryzen has this document, which is kind of not official. It's deep in the web of Ryzen, but they explain how you can use this. But if you don't have access to any official SDK, you probably need to sniff the message and try to get a sense there.
That pretty much answers the question. Someone else also is asking, what material resources would you recommend to build a drone with Raspberry Pi from scratch?
I have this in my to-do list. I see a lot of people building drones using the Raspberry Pi as the main controller, but I never tested myself. So I know a couple of blogs, I know a couple of people who have done this, but I don't know if they are good or not. I will probably go basically online, search for the first one to try to make sense, but I really don't know right now. I don't have any specific very good material about that. Sorry.
Okay, great. So I think I'll give room to the audience to unmute and ask questions. I'll start from Israel. If you can ask your question. Hello, Israel. Can you hear me? Hello, Israel.
Yes, I see a question from Israel here. He's asking if we can use this Onyx model that I created in another framework like machinelearning.net. Yes, when you create a custom vision model and you export this to Onyx, you can use this later in machinelearning.net, which is kind of amazing because if you already know C# and if you are starting to use or you already know machinelearning.net, hey, you have your own machine learning image detection system available there. So yes, you can do it.
Great, amazing. So anyone has a question for Bruno? Kindly unmute your mic and ask. Yeah, you can go on.
Well, I want to ask, I came a bit late. Which software did you use to program the drone exactly?
I use Python as the language, as the main language. The programming language was Python, and I am using Visual Studio Code as the editor for Python. But you can use whatever code that you want. And I choose Python because I've been starting to use and code Python a couple of years ago. I am not an expert, so this is my chance to have some fun and also learn Python as a language because I learned how to use sockets, how to use threads, and a couple of other things.
Okay, great. So we have Victor here raising his hands. I'm sure he has a question. So can you unmute your mic and ask a question?
Okay. My question is, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, my question is, you used a custom vision the other time. I really did not get what was going on there, but my question is, I have some data set I want to use for computer vision application, but I don't want to go to the stress of labeling all those data. Can I use the custom vision you use to get those data labeled, then kind of export them for my own personal application without further training? Without further training the data sets on the custom vision platform?
Yeah, so there are two things there. You can use, in example, machinelearning.net in one of the latest releases for training image system recognition system locally. So as you said, your images and your data are not going to be on the cloud. So that's one. Once you train your model, you can start to use your model whenever you want. And the other part is you can train your system on the cloud in custom vision, and then you can export your model and use your model locally. That means that when you are going to really use your model, sending information to be analyzed, it's never going to be to the cloud. You can use this like I am doing here with a Docker container or with an Onyx file or with a TensorFlow file. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. It's not an issue, but the main constraint you have there is that if you want to train a system to do image recognition locally in your own hardware, you need a lot of hardware. But really, you need a couple of powerful graphic cards. You're probably going to spend, depending on how much images that you have, you're going to probably spend a couple of days doing this, or even weeks. And this is weeks of a machine running 24/7 at 100% of a GPU. So that's the balance between cloud or not cloud. Cloud for training is good, and then you have the chance to use locally without any sending in sensitive information to the cloud. But if you need to train in a sensitive environment with sensitive data, you need to figure out how you can do this. But hey, you can use, even if you create a project, I don't know if I have a project here. Yes. If you are using Visual Studio and you want to create your projects to do image recognition, You can, with 5 clicks, you can do your image recognition system locally in your machine.
That's great. Yeah. Any other question? Hi everyone. Anyone with any other question? Okay, great. So I guess no other person has a question. So I'd like to do a brief recap of what we did today. So we had a drone, and the drone had a camera, and we were able to connect to the camera of the drone using the Python code you just saw in during the session, and it was great to see how we're able to analyze pictures from the camera and use it to actually analyze faces. I think my best part was when he used the camera of the drone to check and analyze all these MVP pictures, the picture of the MVP awards that he had, and it was really cool to see how he was able to extract those images into a folder. So I think that was really great. Yeah, I all the resources we'll be needing, we'll be getting everything from Bruno and be sharing to you guys. So this video will be up on YouTube. I will be sending the link to our official YouTube channel. We'll be posting it there so you can watch it later and probably go through it step by step. I think one important thing is if you are able to build stuff with this, it is important you tag Bruno, let him know that you're able to build these things with his video and his sessions. I think it's great for feedback, right, Bruno?
Yes, yes. And again, any question that you have, if you see this later and as in the recording, contact me via Twitter or my blog. I am happy always to try to help and answer questions.
Awesome. That's pretty amazing. Thanks for coming around. This was really a great session. I don't know, any feedback from everybody? How did you see the session? For me, it was really mind-blowing. Anyone like to unmute and say how you feel about the session?
Yeah, the session was pretty amazing. I learned a whole lot, like very, very much. Thank you very much, Bruno.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Bruno. So once again, as I said earlier, this is Microsoft Student Partners in Nigeria, and basically what we do is to impact individuals on the planet to achieve more. And this is our little way of doing this. Just before we end it, we have someone, Israel, will be telling us how you can become a Microsoft Student Partner, and and how you can actually impact others just like we are doing. So yeah, Israel.
Okay. Good evening, guys. I'll be talking to you guys on the organizers of this program, the Microsoft Student Partners, and what the Microsoft Student Partner Program is about. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, sure we can.
Okay. My name is Ole Luizro. I'm a Microsoft Student Partner from Nigeria, and let's not waste any much time and just go into it. The Microsoft Student Partner Program is a worldwide program for students, both undergraduates and postgraduates, who are interested in technology and creating awareness about the technologies in their universities, colleges, states, wherever you find yourself, just spreading the word of technology. So who are Microsoft Student Partners, who are MSPs? They are students that are interested in technologies, especially Microsoft technologies, to promote these technologies in partnership with Microsoft so that they can, okay, this is an example of what they do: host events, workshops, talks, and learning sessions to help empower those interested in technologies and prepare them for employability in technologies. So why would you want to become a Microsoft student partner? If you are interested in the program, the benefits are very much. I couldn't even list everything. So these are just a few of them. $5,000+ worth of access to tools and technologies. Visual Studio Enterprise is free for Microsoft student partners. For those of you that code in the .NET environment and any other environment, you can use C++, Python. It just brings all your works into one framework, one household. So I really enjoy Visual Studio Enterprise because I do all my coding these days on Visual Studio Enterprise, both for web, for mobile, for machine learning. I do everything in the same environment, and it kind of helps me with the familiarity. When I'm going into another language or another technology, the familiarity really helps me. So we have Azure credits, $150 per month. So every month you get $150 worth of Azure credits. You have LinkedIn Premium and LinkedIn Learning for free, and many others. Windows 10 activation code and all that. It's free for Microsoft student partners. So you also have access to learning materials and certification vouchers from the Microsoft Learn program. Gives you access to certified courses. When you finish those courses, you get certification vouchers, you take your exams, and you become certified and certified as your expert and all that. So it also gives you an opportunity to network with other students around the world and other people around the world. We were able to network with Bruno today, where he came to talk to us on Python, Azure, and drones. So it was a pretty wonderful session, by the way. I learned a lot. So it also gives you travel opportunities to conference and summits. We just finished the Microsoft Build Summit. If not for the COVID-19, it would have been a physical event, but it was a virtual event. So if it was a physical event, as a Microsoft student partner, you have the opportunity, if you are given, to travel expense free to
Israel.
Hello, Israel.
Israel, are you still there?
Hi. Probably having network issues. Okay, so I guess I'll just continue while the gent. So yeah, I was saying there's Microsoft Build, and Microsoft student partners have the opportunity to get invited to attend those kind of sessions, and you get the all expense paid invite to attend. I think he's back now. Sorry. Yeah, we'll still have him back. So yeah, he was talking about the various opportunities and the various things you can get as MSPs, and so yeah, so we're talking about the various opportunities and various things you can get as Microsoft student partners, and this is just a few of all the various things you can get. We have a couple of Microsoft student partners on this call. We have Jaflet Uwamu. Would you like to say hi, Jaflet?
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Super excited to have you all here. Thank you all for joining this session. I just want to say thanks to Bruno for coming around. It meant a lot to us seeing you here, coming to teach us from the cool things you've learned so far. Just want to say thank you. I'm Jafle, one Microsoft STEM partner at the University of Benin.
Thank you, Jaflet. I think Israel is back. Hello, Israel, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Sorry,
Yes.
guys, for the
That's
interruption.
fine. So I guess you can present and continue.
Okay, yeah, I'm setting up the presentation now. Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay.
We can see it now.
Okay, so talking about the travel opportunities, all expense paid trips to conferences and summits for both Microsoft and others. So for those of you who might be interested in becoming a student partner, you can just log on to the website studentpartners.microsoft.com and sign up with your email address. You provide the required information, your personal information, your school information, then some other questions, and you have to do a video. Then you submit the application. And so things to note when you are sending your application, it can be edited after submission. So after you submit your application, you can edit it as far as it has not entered into the review stage. You can edit your application. Application is open all year round, but it will be reviewed quarterly. So every quarter of the year, all the applications that are sent in gets reviewed. So another thing is just be yourself. You don't have to become an expert to become a Microsoft student partner. You don't have to be a technology whiz. So I think when I became a Microsoft student partner, the only Microsoft technology I was using was Visual Studio Code. That was apart from PowerPoint and Microsoft Word and others. So the only Microsoft technology I was using was Visual Studio Code. So it was after I applied, I got interested in Microsoft technology. I started with Visual Studio, and now I'm an all Microsoft guy. So you can also join the Microsoft Student Partners community in Nigeria, the Microsoft Student Community. If you're interested in Microsoft technology, for web, for mobile, for Azure, machine learning, Internet of Things, and all that. You can also join the Meetup group to get notifications on our events because we host these events regularly. So you can get information on that and benefit from it. So thank you very much for coming around for this. I hope you really learned a lot. Shout out to Bruno for this. It was very, very inspiring. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Israel. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, for
Thank you.
joining our
Thank you,
session
Israel.
today. Thank you, everybody. I would like to just say, just brief shout out to Princess. Would you like to say I also? Princess is also a Microsoft student partner, and she's one of the people that is making this happen. So, would you like to say I, Princess?
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Princess Obiawe, student partner from University of Benin, and I'm happy to be here. And I just want to thank Mr. Bruno for the wonderful presentation and enlightening us on that topic. It's nice to see everyone.
Thank you. We also have Raphael. Raphael, know you're there on the call. You want to say I? He's also a Microsoft student partner. Hello, Raphael.
Hey. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm not sure. You said I should say hi, right?
Yeah, just like your name and your school. I think that's fine.
Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm Raphael Norde. I'm a student of the University of Uyo here in Nigeria. And yeah, I use JavaScript, Ruby, and I think I recently started using C# because of MSP influence and stuff like that, yeah.
All right, thank you. I think Idris was raising his hands up. Okay, I can see your question. Yeah, we can get the slides Israel used. We will be sharing that with you. If you registered on Meetup we'll share all the resources to you via email so that you can all get it. So yeah. Thank you
Okay.
everyone.
Okay.
Okay. I hope I
Thank you
answered
very
your
much.
question.
Yes. Thank you.
So thank you everyone. Thank you Bruno most especially for coming around. This was a great session. It was really mind blowing and we are glad to have you come around to take this. Thank you. Yeah, and also we have some students from they are preparing for the Imagine Cup Junior, and they are really young children. I know we have Faith Olawuyi on the call and Ezra. Do you guys want to say hi? So Bruno, these are young children between the age of 12 and 18, and they are preparing for Imagine Cup. They started taking AI courses to build solutions. So they're on this call to just see the amazing stuff you can do with AI. So Faith or Ezra, do you want to say hi? Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi Faith. How did you see the session?
Hi.
Hi Ezra.
It was
Do
really
you want to say anything about the session? Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. I can hear you.
Yeah, do you want to say anything about the session and what you learned?
It was very interesting, though I don't think I started from when you all started, but from the part I came, it was quite interesting. I learned a lot.
That's amazing. How about you, Faith? Yeah, I guess Faith doesn't want to say hi. Okay, so thank you all for coming around. Thank you, Bruno. Any last words from you before we end the call?
No, just thank you very much for coming here. I'm just synchronizing and uploading the code and the slides. So I want to share with you later everything that is related here. One more time, thanks for inviting me. I will be happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you for coming around.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, Bruno.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining in.